MultiVersus. This is leaked way in advance via Hungrybox, believe it or not. At least that's how I did. To which it was promptly taken down by Warner Brothers, which kind of really confirmed it, to be fair. These guys take stuff down when it's actually real, so yeah, pretty much. Now, at this point, we didn't know too much about the game. We know it would be some kind of platform fighter because of the roster it was going to have and some previous leaks that were going around. Like, we have this insane roster of Game of Thrones smashed with Superman, smashed with Cartoon Network shows. It was just ridiculous. But all we had at the time was the roster and the leaks. So we were just kind of left up in the air as to when they were going to announce this. But it was assured that the game would launch on 2022. So, then we waited. Then, on the fateful day of November 18th, we finally got our answer. Boom! The developer themselves came out with a video to describe what the game was and what it looked like and how it played. So this is the part where I'm kind of mixed on. I mean, to be fair, I'm kind of mixed on several aspects of the game as well, but I think this is the one I'm most iffy about. I kind of expected it to look cartoony because I think that's pretty much the only way to get realistic characters to work with cartoon characters together, but some of the character models just look weird. Like Steven Universe, for example, he just looks kind of janky, but then there's Garnet, who looks completely fine and translated pretty well into 3D. Now the other characters fare much better, like Harley Quinn was adapted almost perfectly, same goes for Batman. Dude, we live in a world now where a bunch of companies actually got the confidence to make a competitor to Smash Brothers, and it's amazing. I love this world, dude. Now, where is my Mario and Sonic platformer, huh? Come on, man, the money is literally right there. Please, Nintendo, Sega, please do something. I want something like that. And have a story mode. That would be so epic. Please. Now, I know this is a really early look at the game since the game is supposed to be slated for 2022, so I can't really be too harsh on it, and this is coming from a guy that's played a bunch of Sonic games, so I know what an incomplete game looks like. I just kind of fear that it's going to end up looking this way at launch. Now, this isn't going to be a Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl kind of thing or Sonic Colors Ultimate. Warner Brothers tends to put way more budget into their gaming franchises and stuff, so I have a little more faith in them, but like literally the actual art that they made for this game, as in the renders, which I'm guessing are going to be used for the character select screen, those look excellent. They look just as I thought this game was going to look. They look clean, the characters look really well represented, and I really can't complain about them. It's just mostly the in-game models that I'm concerned about. It just looks a little bit rough right now. Now, I wanted to quickly talk about this one since they really didn't say anything about it, but I'm just kind of hoping, and I know this is a long shot, but I'm really hoping that there's a story mode in this game, because that's the sort of thing I like when it comes to these crossover games. It's the interactions between the characters and the insanity that ensues from their interaction. And you know, they may throw some references to the old shows and all this stuff, and it's just really cool for me. It doesn't need to be a serious plot or anything. It can just literally be a ridiculous and stupid story, and I would still gobble that up. I like that sort of cheesy story. If you can pull it off to where like there's a reason as to why they were called to fight there together, and it's not a stupid ass reason, I'd be pretty into that too. Plus, it would be pretty dope if Superman can actually talk to Shaggy before a match or something like that and go like, zoinks, my power level is unregistered. I don't know why it kind of sounded like I don't even know what that was. Anyway, or something like that. Come on, you can't tell me that wouldn't be cool. I dare you. I triple dog dare you, bro. Okay. This one is actually pretty conflicting for me. I kind of like the new ideas they're bringing to the table. Like, they're emphasizing teamwork, kind of like what Team Sonic Racing tried to attempt. And to be fair and give credit to Sumo Digital, they actually made it rewarding and fun to work as a team. So if they can pull this off, I think this might be an actual fun idea, and I really can't think of another game that does teamwork like this. But there's like a bunch of benefits here to where it actually makes it satisfying and rewarding to actually help the other players out. So there's a bunch of potential here. Now, I may say that there's a bunch of potential here, and then the game comes out and it just ends up being a superfluous addition or something like that, unfortunately. Which I sincerely hope isn't the case, because it sounds like a good idea. Like, you even see some examples in the trailer, like pulling people out of harm's way with Wonder Woman's lasso and protecting other teammates with Steven's shield. So there are gameplay advantages to using certain characters and working together. And this may also be just a me thing, but did the game look kind of slow and sluggish to anybody else? I don't know, at least from the trailer itself, it looked really slow. So I hope it's a little bit faster but balanced, so kind of like Smash Ultimate or something like that. Something like that sort of balance.
It feels that way. Like when you look at the gameplay, I think it's because the video is actually rendered at a normal frame rate, like 24 FPS or 30 FPS. But when you're looking at the speed of this game, it definitely comes across as mad slow. And I don't know if that's because the last game we saw in comparison to all this was literally like Nicktoons, the last style game. But these characters almost look like they're running at like 3/4 speed. I don't know what it is to me. They're moving just like awkwardly slow. Like this stuff looks like it's running slower. Hold on a second. I want to see something. This actually looks like it's sped down. Playback speed 1.25. Yes, this looks like what the yes. What the wow. Dude, it actually, and this looks normal now. This is sped up by 25%. This is actually sped up, and it looks appropriate. Now it looks like this is the speed the game should be running at.
And I really don't expect it to be balanced from the get-go, because fighting games are really hard to balance properly when there's so many characters inside the game, and the team may be a little bit smaller than we think. At least from what I've heard, it's not exactly the A team in the studio, but hey, a man can hope. I also kind of like how each character has a very unique moveset to each other. So like Tom and Jerry take advantage of the fact that they're Tom and Jerry and they do like combos with each other. Finn and Jake take advantage that they're both Finn and Jake from Adventure Time. And you know, there's unique characteristics to each character. You can really tell each one apart without having known these franchises. And that's really cool to me. I'm also hoping that fighting game connoisseurs actually enjoy the gameplay and love it how they did with Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. And I hope it has the potential like Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl had for competitions and stuff, because that actually helps out with the lifespan in the game. So I really hope people actually like it. Now, moving on from that, the price model for this game is free. So basically, it means that they have free reign to make as many microtransactions as possible, which might get annoying because that's usually what happens. They get overly greedy and they start pushing in like these very ugly microtransactions. So I really hope there's no gameplay enhancements of any sort and it's all cosmetic, because honestly they can just carry this game on cosmetics alone. Like with the type of art style that it has, it's cartoony and mixed with this variety of characters that everybody would want to play as. It makes a lot of sense that they're pushing the cosmetics. It just works.
All of this just works.
Like, we even saw a couple in the trailer too, so I just hope it doesn't get too bad with the microtransactions. Now, the real question or concern is, I guess, will this last more than Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl? Because if you're familiar with both of these games, they seem to be both in the sphere of meme type of game, with, I'd say, massive social media attention. Unfortunately, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl seems to be fading from the public eye at the moment, at least in the moment. Because I hate to admit this, because I actually think the game is fun, but it was just lacking in content when it first launched. There was a minuscule amount of stages, the character roster was decent, but it could have been a bit better, and just overall I think it kind of got boring after a while, single player wise at least. Now they did promise they were going to do DLC and cosmetics, and I kind of hope that it's free, because the original asking price of the game was like 50 or 40 bucks. That's a little bit too much, at least for me, when it comes to this type of game, because you can tell that they didn't have that big of a budget, so they're kind of over asking a bit. And I can't blame the budget on the development team. That's just Nickelodeon and their lack of faith in the game. And I think you can really tell that they didn't really believe in that. You know, they pushed it along so they could get some extra sales and stuff, but they didn't really see the potential that they had there. Otherwise, the game would have had voices, the graphics would have been a little bit better, and the team would have been a little bit larger, I think, and just have more budget overall. And the development team did actually pour their heart out into this game, and I feel awful that it's been the way that it has, but hopefully it can recover. But I really feel like MultiVersus is the game that might blow it out of the water. Now, it could coexist. I'm not saying that it should or shouldn't, but this thing is like free to play. And honestly, the game could just carry itself with its franchises alone. Like, think about it. MultiVersus isn't just limited to Cartoon Network franchises like Nickelodeon is. They can basically pull from anything Warner Brothers has in their like library of stuff. They can pull from movies, video games, TV shows, and it doesn't even have to be cartoony. It can be realistic, as we've seen. We have a character from Game of Thrones in this thing. And it's also the fact that Warner Brothers seems to be actually really confident with this game, unlike Nickelodeon. They put it free to play. They gave it a pretty nice budget from what it feels like, because they have a voice cast, the graphics look pretty nice, and you can just overall tell. And I think that free-to-play model, it'll be very important for the life of the game, because just look how Halo Infinite is doing. It surpassed records. It got 200k concurrent players at launch from being free-to-play, and people can choose to support it by just buying cosmetics or the battle pass. So I think in the long run, free-to-play is the way to go for MultiVersus. I think that was a good idea. Like, they even got me interested. I kind of liked it, but I really wasn't into it at first. But since they said free-to-play, I'm just like, well, why not? I can just jump in and try it, and if I don't like it, I can just uninstall it. So overall, I just hope for the best for these two, because they have a lot of franchises that I hold near and dear to my heart, and they just look fun to play. And yeah, I think that was pretty much it for my thoughts on MultiVersus. Hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, I'll catch you later. See you later. Buckos, adios.